Greetings, I'm Voltaire, and this is my co-host, Mr. Orville Dedenbacher, and it is a brand new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy 2016. This is the first video of 2016, and if last year was any indication, I have a very obvious New Year's resolution that I should adopt, and that is that I should not quite. It's that I should make more videos more frequently, and oh my god, I am totally going to do that. Last year, my last video newsletter was in July. That's August, September, October, November, December. Oh my god, that was 5 months ago, and that's just not okay. So there's going to be a whole lot more videos coming down the pike. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but first, where am I playing? Near you. January 23rd, I'm in Austin, Texas at the Elysium for my yearly birthday bash. This is, I think, my 4th year in a row playing on my birthday in Austin, Texas. My birthday is technically the 25th, but I'll be there on the 23rd as that is the Saturday. February 20th, I am playing in New Jersey at Wicked Fair. This is my 11th Wicked Fair in a row, and it happens to be the very last one, so you do not want to miss this. It's kind of like an indoor kinky Renaissance fair. It's really a sight to behold. Yeah, kind of like that. March 12th, I am at Comic-Con in Birmingham. That's Kami, K-A-M-I, Comic-Con Birmingham, Alabama. And then May 15th, the weekend of May 15th, I'm at Wave Gothic Treffen. If you've never heard about Wave Gothic Treffen, it's in Leipzig, Germany every year. It is an enormous goth festival where something like 80,000 goths descend upon Leipzig. I think it's very, very possible that I might extend that little trip to Germany into a little bit of a European tour. In the very least, you can probably expect to see me in the UK that week. So keep your eyes peeled to Voltaire.net/calendar to find out where I'm playing near you. Speaking of music, I do have a new album that is presently being recorded. It's called Heart-Shaped Wound, and there's now a release date. We are shooting for September 1st of 2016, September 1st. I also have a track list. It is, can I do this from the top of my head? The Projectionist, which is a song you've never heard. In Disguise, which is a song you've never heard. Human Nature, which you've heard here on my YouTube channel. Butterfly, which is a song you've probably never heard. It's a cover of a song written by my very dear friend Olia Viglione, the wife of my longtime friend and drummer Brian Viglione, formerly of the Dresden Dolls, formerly of the Violent Femmes. It's also a cover of Leonard Cohen. This is why I can't make mistakes around Orville. I just can't do it. In any case, there is a cover of the Leonard Cohen song Hallelujah on there, which I've also played on this YouTube channel, and a song called The Ones Who've Hurt You that I've played on tour a few times. Maybe you've seen that live at a show. And last but not least, a song called The Folly of Love, which you've not heard yet. How are you going to hear these songs before they come out? I've got an idea. No, that's not my idea, but I am going to share it with you in the next section of this video. But for the time being, September 1st, 2016, Heart-Shaped Wound on Project Records. Do you want to hear excerpts of Heart-Shaped Wound long before anybody else does? Well, there's a way to do it. Become a patron. I've finally taken the plunge, and I have signed up at Patreon. I've started a Patreon page. I've had fans suggest it, I've had friends suggest it, I've had colleagues suggest it, and to be completely honest with you, up until very recently, I felt really hesitant to do it because it felt a lot like begging to me. But I have to tell you, things have really kind of changed in recent history that have opened up my eyes to why it maybe is not just the smart thing to do, but a necessary thing to do. Now, of course, you know that for years people have been downloading music, and people love music more than they ever have, but feeling like you need to pay for it is a rare occurrence these days with a lot of people. So there's, plain and simply a lot of people who just don't pay for music, and that plain and simply makes it very difficult for a musician to make a living. So what do? We go on tour, we perform in front of you, so that perhaps that is an experience worth paying for, which of course allows us to keep the lights on, and by lights I mean candles, obviously, here at the Lair Voltaire. But so we do go on tour, and I tour extensively. I play all of the time. But in recent history, people have kind of stopped buying merch, and I've had new albums, I've had new t-shirts, I've had new books, but I've really seen the merch sales kind of plummet. That's what I thought. Listen, nobody on earth is a worse critic of me than myself. I'm very hard on myself. So immature. But I really am very hard on myself. And so I always just assume, hey, maybe people are just not really into my music anymore. Maybe they're just not into me. And that is a perfectly reasonable thing to think. It's important to assess your career as you go along. My biggest show of the year is Dragon Con. I play to 4,000 to 6,000 people a night at this convention in Atlanta where 80,000 people show up, and it is a very lucrative show. And this last August, we had the worst financial Dragon Con of perhaps all time. We've always made money at Dragon Con. It's a very lucrative show, and this year we limped home, barely being able to cover expenses. And of course, I thought to myself, well, there was a new album, there was a new t-shirt, there was a new poster, there was a new book. Maybe people are just not interested in my shows anymore. Maybe they're not interested in me anymore. And then I saw this fan video someone shot. I like it that way. No, this ain't no lie. I'd rather be Kentucky Fried than live in Jersey Creek any day. Yeah, that's what my show looks like at Dragon Con. There was probably 6,000 people in that room, and I probably signed every single one of their con badges, and I think I might have taken a selfie with every single person in that room. So the landscape has changed. There's been a paradigm shift in the way people go to concerts. I think because of our deep involvement and deep interest in the internet and things like social media, the currency has changed. The currency has changed from exchanging money between a fan and an artist in exchange for content, albums, books, shirts, things of that nature. The currency has changed to likes on Facebook and likes on Instagram and likes on Twitter. And so it has become almost more important to just get a photo with the artist that you can put on the website. And legitimately and earnestly, these people are very happy to get a photo with their favorite artist or one of their favorite artists. I know I certainly would feel the same way with a lot of the people that I admire as musicians and filmmakers and actors. But what a lot of people don't realize is that a lot of the money that is made by an artist is by going on tour, and that money comes from two places: ticket sales and primarily merch sales. Now, at a show like Dragon Con, at a lot of conventions, the bands aren't actually paid because there's a reasonable expectation that they will make quite a lot of money from merch. So when people don't buy any merch at all, it's kind of like going to a restaurant and paying for the food. That would be the analogy of buying the ticket to the convention. So the restaurant's getting paid, but then not tipping the waiter. So it's a very uncomfortable situation for, I think, a lot of musicians, a lot of artists. I hear a lot of comic book creators saying a similar thing. And then, recently somebody very dear to me told me, how do you think musicians got by 200 years ago? How do you think musicians got by 500 years ago? They didn't get by because people bought merch. They got by because they had patrons. They had people who cared so intensely about their work that they were willing to say, I will support you. I will give you money every month. It may not be a lot, it may be $1 a month, but I'll give you money every month to ensure that you keep doing what you're doing and that you keep the lights on in the Lair and that you keep Orville Dedenbacher well fed. No, that's right. They're not cheap. Dead maggots ain't cheap, kids. So I finally broke down. I started a Patreon page, and I'm so glad I did, because let me tell you, every single time someone signs up and says, I'm willing to give you $1 a month or $5 a month, or my Lord, there are some people on there who, are committing to $25 a month, $50 a month. Really, those people are saying, I really care about what you do. I want you to keep doing it. So, as a thank you to those of you who are following me on Patreon, I have started posting content that's patron only. Only patrons can see it. So far, I've posted all of the prologue that I've written for my upcoming novel. It's a Chichan novel, for those of you who remember my first comic book of that name. And the very next thing I'm going to start posting are songs from Heart-Shaped Wounds. So just as a big thank you to those of you who have said, you know what, I followed you on Facebook, I followed you on Instagram, I followed you on Twitter, and you entertain me, and $1 a month isn't a lot to ask to make sure that you can keep feeding Orville and keeping the candles lit at the Lair of Voltaire. So I really, truly appreciate that. You can find my Patreon page right here at this link. I hope you will choose also to join me on Patreon. I really, truly appreciate it. I think everybody there now really knows that, and you will too. Thank you ahead of time. Orville's hungry. Speaking of merch, due to the fact that merch sales have been kind of abysmal, and coupled with the fact that the building where my office was in is closing down, and I simply couldn't afford to find a comparable size space, I'm closing the web store at Voltaire.net. You will no longer be able to purchase items directly from me. It makes me very sad because I liked very much doodling little bats on your packages and throwing in extra stickers and all sorts of weird stuff. But it is just a financial reality, and the very, very competent people at IsoTank will be taking over, so you still will be able to buy my merch online, but it will not come directly from Voltaire.net anymore. So stay tuned, and in the next newsletter I will be giving you a link to where you can purchase stuff directly from IsoTank, i.e. the new Voltaire web store. And while I'm at it, I should point out that I've just made some more Commander of Unicorn medals, so those will be in the shop for the first time in a long time. My two most recent books, 50 Shades of Greys and The Legend of Candy Claus, are now available to be purchased online anytime you want from the print-on-demand company CreateSpace.com. Now, I think print-on-demand has come a very, very long way. I'm not really sure if you have ever seen one of these books, but as it happens, I have been selling copies of these books at my shows that are printed at CreateSpace.com, so believe me when I tell you, they look great. Now, I will point out that because they're print-on-demand, they don't ship immediately. In fact, they give you some estimate, and it sounds like it takes forever for them to make your book. I think if you say that you want a copy of The Legend of Candy Claus, they'll tell you that you'll get it, like 3 weeks later or 4 weeks later. But so far, everything I've ever ordered from them has arrived significantly earlier than they said it would. So give them a chance. If you'd like a copy of my incredibly pervy, pun-filled, perverted book, 50 Shades of Greys, or alternately, the very sweet and endearing Halloween/Christmas story, The Legend of Candy Claus, get yourself a copy of each today at CreateSpace.com. And as I've already mentioned, I've started writing a novel, a Chichan novel. Chichan was my very first comic book series ever, and 2016 is the 20-year anniversary of its release. It's crazy to believe. If Chichan was my first child, she'd be 20 now. It's so crazy to believe. So I am telling her story in novel form. And as I've already mentioned, those of you who have followed me on Patreon have been reading the novel as I write it. So it is my hope, of course, that the novel will come out this year, as it is the 20-year anniversary. So wish me luck. We'll really only know by December 31st if I achieved my goal. Can you believe this guy? My fledgling acting career continues to slowly take flight. As many of you probably already know, my first significant role was in Debbie Rochon's directorial debut, Model Hunger, a serial killer movie starring the beautiful Lynn Lowry. And that film comes out in 2016. It comes out this year, so you guys get to see it soon. And you get to see me play an acerbic alcoholic mechanic. I'm also in a film called Lady Killer as a crazy pimp by the name of Suge White. That film is by Jeff Farrell. I do not know when it will start screening, but I think it might be doing film festival runs probably in the fall of this year, if I had to guess. And so exciting, I most recently was in the remake of Nosferatu, starring my dear friend and incredibly talented monster actor, Doug Jones. You know him from the films Hellboy and from Pan's Labyrinth, and he plays the Silver Surfer. He's an incredible guy, and it was such an honor to be able to work in a film in which he stars. I play a Transylvanian doctor. Yeah, not exactly. But man, that was so much fun to be in that film. That film is by David Fisher, and I really look forward to seeing that film. Not sure when that's coming out. And I guess the really, really big news when it comes to films is that the screenplay for what should be my directorial debut, an erotic horror film called Incubus, is finished. And the screenplay was written by my dear friend Jeff Farrell and director of Lady Killer. We co-star and co-direct in this film, and I think if all goes well, we're going to shoot in the fall of this year. I play a priest. Shut up. You know what? I know what you're going to say, just don't say it. In any case, I play a priest, and it's about demon summoning. There's going to be demons in this thing. Some of them are live action, some of them are stop motion. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. So that's the exciting news on the film front. But more immediately is what's happening on the small screen, and that's coming up next. Those of you who know me well know me probably primarily as a musician, but I'm also the author of a book called Painted Black, A Guide to Gothic Homemaking. Now, as it happens, I wrote that book many years ago when I moved into this space, the Lair of Voltaire. Of course, at that time, this was just a big white box with an atrociously ugly linoleum floor. And I set about trying to redecorate it so it looked like the kind of lair that someone like myself or Orville would want to live in. And I documented that process in Painted Black. I drew upon my experience as a special effects filmmaker, as a stop motion animator, to use antiquing techniques and things of that nature, prop making techniques, to do things like turn an ordinary sketchbook into a tome that looks like it was unearthed from Poe's grave, how to make candelabras out of wine bottles, in essence, how to turn normal... Oh, look at this ring. How ironic. It really is like a weird little skull book that I made. It just happened to be sitting on the floor of the lair. Now, eventually I moved out of here. I got married and I moved out, and this place turned into a storage unit. I used it for storage. I used it for housing all of my merchandise for my tours. And let me tell you, eventually, over the course of a few years, this place turned into, well, the best way it could be described was like a hurricane had hit a flea market during an episode of Hoarders. Yeah, it was really bad. But then I got divorced and I moved back in, and reclaiming this place from the disaster that it had turned into a living space where we would want to cohabitate. So sweet. Has been a real challenge. I documented some of the process on my Instagram page, putting up some ceiling tiles, putting in a new floor, and a couple of people suggested, why don't you write a sequel to Painted Black? But then it hit me. We have a tremendous opportunity here to do something even more exciting, and that is to create a web series. So I just went head first into doing this, and we've already started filming it. I have already started talking to sponsors. Alchemy Gothic, which is one of the biggest names in Gothic lifestyle jewelry and accessories, is on board as a sponsor. And when you see some of the furniture that I have secured for this place, you are absolutely going to flip. Why don't you just sit back and enjoy this little clip that we shot in an episode about looking for a Gothic chandelier. We are in the lighting district in Manhattan's Bowery, formerly home to flop houses, Charles Bukowski drunken antics, and some gang led by Daniel Day-Lewis. But now it is the lighting district. Can you believe it? 4 blocks of nothing but lighting stores. Hi. Great work. Good, right? Very well. That looks great.
All of these chandeliers reminded me of something, but I couldn't remember what. Oh, right.
There's such a sad love deep in your eyes, a kind of pale jewel, open and close within your eyes. I'll place the sky within your eyes.
We're going to help you find the spookiest Gothic furniture. We're going to show you how to paint the place, where to find the best taxidermy. I mean, I think we're going to really... I keep forgetting I'm sitting next to taxidermy. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I really think that this show is going to be so hilarious and yet informative. And I'm asking you, won't you join me in helping to fund it? On the Indiegogo page, you can select a variety of perks. Orville, who's usually pretty stiff and is not known to lift a finger, will write you a letter. He'll send you a postcard right here from our lair to your lair, and I might doodle in it as well when he's not looking. If you have a product that you think, or a service that would appeal to a Gothic audience and you want to have a lot of viewers see that product, sponsor an episode. We will show your product on the air. There's a perk called Hotline Bling, where if you would like some advice on your music career or your art career, or maybe you just want to shoot the breeze with me or have me play you a couple songs, I will Skype you and we can chat for a while on Skype. If you are a musician or a band and you'd like to have your music featured on the show, there's a perk for that as well. And of course, if you're just a high roller, you can sponsor the entire series.
Spooky high tea in the lair? Orville, what's that?
We already have some amazing sponsors who have signed up behind the scenes. Alchemy Gothic, Salem Ceiling Tiles, makers of these incredibly ornate, beautiful Gothic ceiling tiles. Morning Bright, a bone artist from Australia. And honestly, I just think this is going to be such an entertaining, fascinating, macabre, and if Orville has anything to do with hilarious web series. So join us, and we will rule the web as father and son. Or, you know, as spooky goth dude who turns dorm rooms into lairs and some desiccated creep. I'm kidding, I love you, Orville. Join us, won't you? It's going to be a spooky, fun time. Last month's contest. Not quite. The last Lair Voltaire video was in July of 2015 because I'm a lazy slacker. So I don't remember anymore what the question was, but I know what the answer was. The answer was Japanese goils and tentacoils. That was the answer. Covered in black squid ink. That was the answer. So a winner at random has been chosen from the comments, a winner who has had the correct answer, and they are going to receive this lunchbox that I made a million years ago on Cafe Press, and I didn't like that it was silver, so I painted it black, of course, like the book, Painted Black, A Guide to Gothic Homemaking. It is really not intended to be taken outside or used because it'll just get all scratched up. But you can put it on a shelf somewhere, you can put some things inside, and I'll sign it for you. And the winner is
Isabel Tudor! Congratulations!
So please email me at voltaire@voltaire.net and send me a message personally with your mailing address, and I will send this lunchbox to you. This month's contest is really simple. I just want for you to leave me a comment in the comment section and let Orville and I know what you'd like to see on Gothic Homemaking with Aurelio Voltaire. Yes, I'm with Orville Tenenbacher. So just leave us a comment in the comment section and we will pick our favorite one, and the winner will receive this backpack. Oh, look at this. It's so gorgeous. It is a bat that also happens to be a backpack. It's got a big zipper in the back and you put your things inside. It's actually an unclaimed prize. Can you believe somebody won this last year and they never claimed it? So now's your chance to get this backpack. Leave your comment in the comment below. Thank you so much for watching the Lair of Voltaire. Goodbye, everybody.
If you enjoy our ridiculous Lair of Voltaire videos, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Remember, this is where the Gothic Homemaking episodes are going to air, and you're going to want to know when they start airing. And lastly, don't forget to leave us a comment. Take care, everybody. See you next time from me and Orville Tenenbacher.